Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's hot where I am right now. It's not like in the 90s, but it's comfortably hot. I hope you're having a good end of the summer. Summer's coming to a close in another month. Before you know it, it's going to be August. I just wanted to say something before I do my reading. And do the tarot and article reading. I had someone who commented on, they're entitled to their opinion. They were saying that I shouldn't be doing celebrity readings and I should just leave these people alone. And if I did, I should be one at a time. Oops. And also that shouldn't be doing articles reading because this person is a tarot reader. Like I said, people are entitled to their opinion, but I'm going to continue to do what I do. If people don't like it, that's their prerogative. But my prerogative is I'm continuing doing it. I'm doing it for fun and entertainment purposes, like I say. And I thank you for the people who like my videos and that give me a good calmer and a good vibe. I do this for fun and entertainment purposes, and I do it through what the tarot cards tell me. So, like I said, if people don't like it, they don't. That's the prerogative, or they don't have to watch the video. So right now, I'm going to be talking about Gene Hackman. I loved him. He was a great actor. I think he was also a producer. I'm going to look him up. So it's going to take a second. Gene Hackman. He was in The French Connection. He was born January 30th, 1930 to February 18th, 2007. He was 95, heart problems. He was married twice. He has four children. He's 6'2". Yeah, he was in The French Connection, Superman, Unforgiven, Mississippi Burning, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. Hoosiers, that's another one. Enemy of the States, The Quick and the Dead. I didn't really like Quick and the Dead. Runaway Jury was a good one. The Firm was a good one. That was with Tom Cruise. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. But anyway, yeah. So I think he was 95. So I'm going to ask about his kidhood. I always do that. So please tell me about Gene Hackman's childhood, please. Please tell me, Gene, about your childhood. I'll do 4 cards. Yeah. Two, 3, 4. Okay. All right, Gene. Okay, Gene, tell us what you want to let us know. His parents were kind of sort of controlling, and they wanted him to have direction. I guess when he was in school, they wanted him to stay in school and do his homework and do his chores, and not be a slacker. So they were kind of traditional people, and also they gave him choices, like if he wanted to play sports he could, or if he didn't want to he could do that, and they didn't mind him doing other things. If he didn't want to do sports, they gave him choices of things, like activities he wanted to do after school when he got older. He had some hardship, it was during the 30s and 40s. He grew up during World War II, so he had some hardship, during the Second War. They had people who were, didn't have a lot to eat. There was financial loss, during the Great Depression and the 40s, World War II. There was not a lot of people could get jobs and stuff. So those people were worried about, and the people were sad, because during the World War II, he was a kid during World War II. And he had opportunities of new beginning. When he got out of high school, he wanted to be an actor and wanted to do different things. And and he had opportunities like would he join the military in the 50s, or would he go to college, or he had different opportunities he wanted to do. So yeah, he had a pretty good childhood. His parents were somewhat strict, but other than that, he a good kid. All right, so I'm gonna do. Did he have a lot of girlfriends? I'm gonna do different cards. So his past girlfriends, what were they like? This is romance and oracle. Yes, I do oracle cards. I'll do 3. Oh, he liked friendship with the women he was dating. This connection is based on relationship. It could be developed. So he had a lot of girlfriends, in high school, and if he went to college, and he wanted to have a good relationship. He wanted them to be friends, not just girlfriends or lovers. He wanted them to have good, and sometimes I swear, and I'm not responsible if anybody gets hurt. So yeah, he wanted, he wanted them to be friends, and then he didn't want to rush into just a romance. He wanted them to be friends. And love may come with sacrifice. So sometimes he would have to sacrifice his career for his relationship. Like when he got married, he'd have to put his. So he might have trouble with relationships because of his career, being an actor. It took a back burner. So he had to make a choice, the relationship or him being an actor. And sometimes it went in the back burner. But he liked to celebrate his relationships when he dated women and got married. He wanted to celebrate it, and he liked to party. He liked women and liked to party. So he had a good relationship with women, and he liked to be friends with them before having a real serious relationship with them. He wasn't into, casual things. He was like, wanted to do it. All right. How did he get along with his parents? I'm going to look that up. Jean, how did you get along with your parents? Please tell me, Jean, how did you get along with your mom and dad? Please. He thought sometimes they were unreasonable because they gave him high expectations, and he wanted to do his own thing, and they thought he was untrustworthy. Like they said, "Come on, you're staying up late. You should go to bed early." And they thought he was kind of moody and jealous of his other siblings, and he had heartbreak. His family, maybe his parents had fought, and he felt heartbreak in his family life. Siblings. There was a lot of disagreements in his family, so there was a lot of moodiness and heartbreak. Maybe there was some cheating in the family. Like I said, this is entertainment purposes only. There was some disharmony. Like they said, there might have been some fighting in his parents or with him. The disagreements. They had few goals. They didn't expect very much from him. He tried to forgive his parents for fighting or disagreements, and they wanted to heal. So he had a hard relationship with his parents. We said about how was his first marriage? Because I know it ended up in divorce, but how was his first marriage? Please tell me, oracle cards, please tell me how was his first marriage in the beginning? Jean, tell me. A wonderful surprise is coming, something that you're waiting. It was like, really, in the beginning, it was a good surprise, him meeting his future past wife, his number one wife. He was surprised. I think it was before it became real famous. It was a surprise. It's coming. He was waiting for her to show up because he dated other women, and he was excited to meet her. I love these cards. These are beautiful. Time for man. So he was a romantic person. They both were romantic. Set an opportunity for a radiant life. So yeah, he was a romantic person. He needed to slow down. You know, he was he had to be aware of it. Wait for your senses. Slow down. Awake for them. So I guess he slow down. He sometimes rushed too much about his relationship with his wife. He was trying to move too fast, and he needed to slow down. A message is coming to get you. The spirit will wish to find you, touching your message. Yeah, there might have been some problems in the marriage, but he was trying to be, you know, happy in the relationship. I think a message. Yeah, he was trying to have a good relationship because he was having trouble. See, the girl's looking at the crow and upset. So he might have had some marriage problems. To confront it is dying inside. Be brave for yourself. So there was problems in the marriage. To confine into dying itself. Be brave and be yourself. He wanted to be himself, you know, in the marriage, and he was having some problems in the marriage, and he had to confront it to die inside. He felt like he was dying inside toward the end. And then awake the magic of your creativity. So he was trying to be more creative during his marriage, even though there were problems. He was trying to be more creative in the different roles he took in the movies, and he tried to be creative in his marriage, even though he was having problems in his first marriage. So, all right, I'm going to ask his second marriage. How did that go? How did his second marriage work? Because they were a long time. How was his second marriage? Tell me. I'm gonna do 3 cards for that one. All right. Feed the power of your blood and your ascendants. You're not alone. He doesn't feel he was alone in his second marriage. It was like a dual partnership. It wasn't separated. He felt like it was a team effort, and it was like his best friend, like a soulmate, like his best friend. So he was looking for someone, and he found her in his second. Live playful and lighthearted. So the relationship wasn't, you know, so stressed. It was like, you know, having a good time, like childlike. He liked to play with a lightheart. He didn't take his relationship with his second wife too seriously. He liked to relax, and he could be himself. Listen to the voice and your inner child. See, he liked to be, you know, he could kid around with her and have a good time, act like a kid. You know, he liked to chill and have a good time, rewind, be a child at heart. The tree is wishing, it's calling you. Almost forget wishes will come true. The tree of wishes calling your name. I guess I'm not really sure what that means, but the tree's wishes calling your name. Maybe he thought that he almost wishes will come true. Oh, he thought maybe they would have a long marriage and wishes come true. Maybe his relationship with his children would get better, and his relationship with his second wife would get better. I think that's what it means. I'm not an expert on that. Like I say in my videos, I'm not an expert reader. I do it for fun. All right. In his health. First, I'm going to say about his movies. Did he like all the movies he did, or were they just to make a buck? Gene Hackman. Did he make these movies just, you know, because some people love doing it and then they get burnt out? But did Gene Hackman like the movies he made, or were some of them kind of, you know, burning him out? Did he, in the majority, did he like his the movies that he did? Please, Gene, can you tell me? I'll do this. In the past, I'll do that. In the past, in the present. All right. Now this is interesting. All right. He did have some anxiety about some of the movies he made. Kind of, he thought, he wanted to get better movies, the same car chasing things, like in the French Connection. He liked doing it, but he had anxiety and he was tired of doing the same action films. I think he wanted to do something more serious thing, like so. Yeah, and he was depressed. He might have some He might Gene Hackman might have had some depression in his life. He got depressed, like we all do get depressed. So he might have been depressed and he had trouble sleeping, and there must have been a trauma in his life that happened. Oh, poor Gene. He liked to celebrate and have a good time. He liked to, have fun with his co-stars that he got along and have a good time. And he was happy when he made a movie that he really liked. He really liked hanging out with the co-stars and the people he was making. He was he had courage, potential, faith. He set boundaries though. He didn't want people to there's some acting of the movies he wouldn't do. Like some of them, they would say, "Oh, will you do this?" He would say, "No, I don't want to do this. It's too far. This is not the way I want it to go." So he had his own moral compass. If he didn't like to do something, he didn't do it. He just said, if I don't like this script, I'm not going to do it like this. I'm going to do it my way or the highway, basically. So he set boundaries. Characters he wanted to do, or he would do it his way or the highway in the past. He loved some of the relationships he had with some of the co-stars. He had a relationship. He tried to have harmony with the female co-stars and the co-stars that he was This is the present. In the present, before he retired, he tried to get along with all the people and, get along with and he tried to be passionate and have a good time with his co-stars and the people he was worth working with. And he tried to be emotional balanced, balanced in his career. He didn't want problems, with with the co-stars. He didn't want trauma. He didn't want any of that. He liked to be in control, but he also liked to be democratic. Like say, come on, you're allowed to have your opinion, but I also have my opinion. And he liked to be a natural leader. He liked to be the leader. He tried to be tolerant, like say you can have your opinion. He tried to be tolerant. It's some negative thoughts though toward the end of his career, like thought he was getting too old to play certain roles. He wanted to quit playing some roles like the action movies as he got older, because everybody ages, so he just got tired of doing the same thing. He wanted to do more serious things or comedies. And he had negative thoughts like don't want to continue doing. As they got older, he didn't want to keep on doing chase scenes. He didn't want to do action films. He wanted, like I said, he wanted more comedy or dramas or something like that. So yeah, he wanted a new perspective. He wanted to do something different before he retired. He wanted a different roles, doing, like I said, drama, comedies and stuff. He didn't want the same old. He was getting tired of it. So yeah, he in the he did have some trauma in the past. I'm gonna look. It said he had drama. Did he ever got hurt when he was doing when he did his own stunts? That's a good question. Did Gene Hackman ever get hurt when he was doing those chase scenes, like in the French Connection and French Connection 2 and those other films? Did he ever get hurt, Gene Hackman? Please tell me, Gene, were you ever hurt doing your own action films? If you didn't have a stunt person, please tell me. Please, Gene, did you do your own stunts, and did you ever get hurt? Sorry about that. I have to move these. I have a lot of cards. It says, yes, he got hurt. Called bad advice. He had some bad advice say that you could do it, but you have to be careful. So they gave him some bad advice. And he was very moody. He had a moody streak. Gene Hackman, like, if he didn't get what he wanted or the advice he wanted, he got moody. Yeah. And he had some negative thoughts like, oh God, I hope I don't get hurt, you know. I'm afraid I'm gonna, I don't know, break some ribs or get in the car, you know, do the chase scenes. Will I get hurt? Am I gonna break my ribs or am I gonna break an arm? So he had victim mentality. He had the thing like, oh God, like he was a very worry-wart person when he got hurt doing the stunts. He worried like, oh God, am I going to get hurt? So he did worry about getting hurt. But he loved it also. He loved the chase. He loved going fast. He liked moving fast. He liked going fast. And he liked the new feeling, the rush of driving the cars fast, doing his own stunts. He was scared and had negative thoughts, but he also loved the chasing and the moving fast. He loved it. It was like he had different, you know, one hand he was scared and the other hand he loved it. All right. There was an ending in transformation toward the end of his career. He, you know, also being hurt, you know, he decided I'm too old to do any more stunts. I'm not going to do it anymore. He decided I'm not going to do any more stunts. I'm getting older. That's what people are getting paid for, the stunt people. So that's enough. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, and it's transformation. He didn't want to do it anymore. He said enough is enough. He didn't want to do it. So he did get hurt. All right, now I'm going to ask a question. Did he really have heart problems as he got older? Sorry if this is a long video. All right, did he have heart problems as he got older? Gene Hackman, please. He had emotional balance. Yeah, he had his emotions, you know, he got older, you know, your health is not 100% when you're in your 90s. It's great that he lived that long, but yeah, he tried to be in control, you know, he didn't want to lose control, his functions, you know, him going to the bathroom, you know, his memory, he wanted to be in control of being able to walk, wouldn't need a wheelchair. He wanted to be in control, you know. He didn't want to have to use a walker. He didn't want a nurse to come into his house and take care of him. But he knew he had self-limit beliefs. He knew he had, you know, he couldn't do some things. He was realistic. He knew that, you know, he would have to have help. He didn't want it, but he was realistic that he would have to have, you know, he had criticism because he didn't want someone to help him, but he criticized, you know, himself, saying, God, I wish my body could be, you know, what I was when I was in my 20s, 30s. So he did criticize himself, but he, you know, he thought, he had new perspective where he knew that he couldn't, you know, do things on his own. He knew that he would have to have help. So he knew that he didn't like the idea of having help, but he knew he would have to have it because of his age, you know, and his health and how his body was turning out. Emotional loss. Yeah, his emotions, you know, his health, his mentally wasn't doing well. He was block, creative. I think he had Alzheimer's. That says his creative block. So I think his memory's starting to go when he was getting older. It says memory block, so he had Alzheimer's. I'm going to look that up. Good girl. All right, it says creative block. I'm going to do 3 cards. Did he have Alzheimer's or dementia before he died? Entertainment purposes. Did Gene Hackman have Alzheimer's or dementia before he died? Just nothing's wrong with that. I think it's sad, but that's what happens, you know. If you can make it to 95, more power to you. A lot of people don't. Yeah, he did. He had challenges, getting up, getting dressed, going to the bathroom, doing stuff. I think his wife was his give taker. Yeah, he was trying to maintain control, being able to talk, function normally. But he did have a lot of money, to for people if he wanted help to someone to help him, like a nurse, a visiting nurse, or health aid care, or going into a nursing home if he had to. He had enough money for that. Plus, also, if he passed away, he had enough money. He had a lot of money, for his family members. He was exhausted by the end of his life. He was tired, He was exhausted, it was hard for him to get up and do things and, like I said, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, eat, remember where you keep your keys. They had dogs, taking care of the dogs, feeding them, giving them walks, giving them water. It was very exhausting. Every day was exhausting for him. Poor him. So his health was fading. And he did have problems with his memory. Yeah, he had Alzheimer's or dementia. So one more question. Is there anything else you want to tell me, Jean, before I say goodbye? In the future, I might do another reading on Gene Hackman. I always say that in case anything else should come up. You never know. So please, Jean, can you tell me if there's anything else you want me to know about you or your wife, second wife, or your family, or anything, and your dogs, because I'm a big dog lover. Anything you want to tell me, Jean? I'll do 3 cards spread. I might do a reading on Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know too much about him because I don't listen to heavy metal music I don't like, but he's an interesting person, so I'm going to do another reading on Ozzy Osbourne because he passed away a few days ago, so I'm interested in doing about Ozzy Osbourne. All right, balance. So he was trying to, balance his house and his family, before he passed away. It's hard when you get older and you don't have. So he probably was writing a will or had a will before his health was becoming terminate. So he probably had someone write a will so he could balance, for before he died, he wouldn't, go in the afterlife or whatever you believe, that he would, that he would leave his family well off and his wife if she would have, but she died too. So he wanted to make sure his family had enough money and be well off. He was naive. Maybe he was naive, like his money matters. He was worried that someone might take advantage of his money. Before he died, he might have thought someone out to get me. Maybe I'll do another reading on that. Yeah, and he was very childlike. Even when he was young, younger. He was like a child inside a man's body, so he was very childlike. And he was very, creative when he was younger. And there was chaos, before he died. There was chaos with his health. Like I said, keep on saying about his health. He was getting dementia. He was thin. He was having a lot of health problems, and maybe some poor management. Maybe he wasn't sure who he should trust managing his money and his will. He wasn't sure who he could trust. He might have given money to people that he should have. So he might have done bad money management. And there were delays, like it was going to take him a long time to find the right person to do his finances. So, okay, well, that's all I'm going to do for today about Gene Hackman. I hope you like my video. Like I say, it's entertainment purposes. And everybody have a good day. Bye-bye.